But hard work is not something that my family only emphasizes. We are a family that values love. We are a family that values compassion and good humor and friendship. It was especially important to my mom that we were a family that knew how to have a good time. I remember going to bar and bat mitzvahs, and my mom would look at Max and me, and she'd say, "You guys better dance. Like, you're not going to be the kid that looks miserable and is, Debbie Downer." And I think she was really only talking to me at that point, because Max had no problem with dancing. At all. And his dancing was legendary. And he wore the same facial expression every time. And he would kind of just push his tongue into his bottom lip, and then he'd shoot out his fingers, and he'd get down. I grew up about 2 years behind my brother. Old enough to hang with him, young enough to be his inferior. And there certainly were things that Max was better at, and there definitely were some things that I was better at, but we supported each other with everything that we did. And many of the things that Max liked to do, I started liking to do. Things that I did, Max started to do. I started taking art classes, and then, a month later, Max is drawing stick figures right next to me. I get a guitar. Not too much later, Max gets a bass. And it was great though. Sorry. One of my fondest memories with Max was playing music with him. And he probably knew like 6 songs total. But he loved the jam, and I loved playing with him. It should not surprise any of you that his favorite song was Bob Marley's Stir It Up. And for some reason, I just remember this so clearly, and I don't know why, because it's kind of a strange thing for me to just, to picture, but he always, for some reason, stood on top of the amp. He always, every time, he just stood on top of it. And I'm not sure if he just, wanted to be taller for the 5 minutes of the song. But he just wanted to even feel the vibration below his feet. Max wanted to absorb everything that life, could give him. And in Bob Marley's words, Max was a person that feels the rain, while there's others that just get wet. Max lived. This is, I don't want to say it's cheesy, but the quote, "Everyone dies, but not everyone lives," is something that just sticks with me, because that's the way that I think about Max and the way he lived his life. I watched him climb to his peaks. I watched him power through his valleys. As a younger brother, I was following a pathfinder, a trailblazer. And he could get lost in the weeds, but his moral compass was always north. Walking in his shadow, I had the privilege of being able to miss some of the cracks in the road that Max stumbled on. But I followed him, and I do follow him, and I admire his persistence to get back up every time he fell. He was always searching for the best version of himself. His passions could change, and they did all the time. But the spirit that he carried himself while doing these, it never wavered. When Max came to Israel, he believed that this was going to be his next chapter in his life. He decided to leave what he knew, his family and friends, back in Los Angeles, back in safe Los Angeles, and go on an adventure so uncertain, so exciting, and he joined the idea. This boy became the man that he left everyone and everything for his own search, for his own meaning, his own purpose in life, and his own happiness. And I've heard many people claim that Max embodies the best of both the Jewish people and the Americans. And I'd have to agree. As Americans, we are entitled to the pursuit of happiness. Only the best of us turn this entitlement into a challenge. And Max took this American challenge, this American dream, and with his competitive, relentless, just amazing spirit, flew thousands of miles for the Jewish cause. To be a part of the Jewish dream. It was unclear if Max wanted to stay in Israel permanently, but it was certainly clear that Max thought Israel was another home. Max believed in Israel as a volunteer. He had to. I remember our birthright trip together, and Max, Paige, and I, we were all moved. And we all came home thinking that we knew what Israel was all about. And my parents had never been to Israel, and they hadn't been there, until a couple of weeks ago. And they quickly learned just what Max was fighting for. We were received in a way that is beyond comprehension. The love and support. 30,000 people came. I mean, it's insane. People were deeply moved by Max's sacrifice, and we were deeply moved by their compassion. During our trip, we kind of went around to see where Max spent his time. We saw where he laid his head to go to sleep, saw the families and friends that he spent a lot of time with there. But we also made a point of going to the Holocaust Museum there. Memorial, sorry. And just to remind us exactly what Max was fighting for. And my favorite Bob Marley song is No Woman, No Cry. And I've been, going through my Bob Marley collection just because it makes me happy right now. And I don't know why, but I just love listening to him right now. But there's this quote that in this great future, you can't forget your past. And that just, constantly replayed in my mind. And Max fought for the great future of the Jewish people. This small, blonde, Jewish-American boy stood tall for the state, for the Jewish people. To preserve a future where kids can play around the neighborhood like we did and feeling just as safe. And I love you, Max. You've set a bar that is so high. You're incredibly inspiring. I wish you could see this, the amount of people that are here just for you. And I love you. So